Nate, you were parodied on Saturday Night Live on Saturday. You worked then an entire pregame 9-hour day for CBS. Did you get more feedback online and in your phone from the 3-minute parody on Saturday Night Live or the 9-hour marathon of Super Bowl coverage on Sunday?
It was Saturday Night Live for sure. I was sitting in my room going over my notes, and my phone starts blowing up because I turned my TV off at 11 so I can get rest. And they're like, yo, you need to tune in to Saturday Night Live right now.
Who was parodied the best? You, JB, Cower I thought was excellent.
Cower was great.
Sims and Esiason. Who got it the best, you think?
Well, to get JB with the mustache and the afro, it's perfect. But I'm not going to lie. When I saw Chris Reddish do me, the thing that was so funny, as I'm giggling to myself, is I know they say a lot of black people look alike, all right? I get it, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to show up tomorrow with the exact same braid design, which is going to be hilarious.
Amazing.
So, yeah, shout out to them. And here's the thing. They could have did the whole spoof, and I could have been a dumb athlete, you know, a dumb jock. That would have been the easy route. So I really want to commend SNL for not going that route and just having us speak about funny things intelligently. So shout out to everybody that kind of parodied the CBS crew on SNL.
I'm triggered they left out Jason La Canfora. I don't know why he wasn't in it. I mean, it's part of the show. We got to run it back. JLC, come on, get in there. SNL.
Well, we are happy that you are back, guys, and we've reached this point of the off-season where...
Right.
What are we going to talk about? Dak
Whatever
Prescott.
we want. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
We're talking about whatever we want. Yeah, here we are. We're diving into the lead block. We're starting things in the NFC East. Take a look here. The Cowboys Hall of Fame quarterback Troy Aikman had this to say about Dak Prescott's situation in Dallas. We're here, Kyle.
It feels so good when it hits your lips, Kay.
We're here.
Dak.
Here's what he said. I think the price tag went up. I think Dak's leverage went up after this year. I'd be really surprised if he's playing under the franchise tag again this year. My guess is if he is, that will be the last we see of Dak Prescott. So the East pretty interesting right now to follow along all offseason. Which quarterback more tenuous waters right now, guys? Is it Dak Prescott or is it Carson Wentz?
You know, I feel like I'm going to make a pun here, and it's almost not intended.
What do you got?
I think of Carson Wentz, and he's a bird on a wire right now.
Because he's an eagle.
He's an eagle. But truly, a week ago, more than a week ago, it was, oh, teams are banging down the door for Carson Wentz right now. There are teams calling up the Eagles, and looks like Carson Wentz is going to get dealt. Then we heard on Super Bowl weekend it could happen by the end of the Super Bowl. Time is ticking. It's Thursday now, and Carson Wentz is still an Eagle, and it's like, all right, the team didn't come out and have a press conference and say, Carson Wentz is our guy, we're standing behind him 100%. Nope, there were a million reports out. It dominated Super Bowl weekend as coverage that he might be traded. And at no point did the Eagles come out and say, he's our guy 100%, we stand behind Carson. You know, instead, the story that came out from Mike Garafolo was that the Eagles just haven't gotten what they wanted yet. Like, they haven't gotten the fair compensation. So here we go. We're at day number 8 since the initial reports came out. It can last 9, 10, 11 days. Every single day that this goes on, Carson Wentz's place at the Eagles becomes very, very odd. And, you know, Jalen Hurts is there, and that's fine. And they also have the number 6th overall pick, which could end up being a quarterback. This isn't going away. So unless Carson Wentz is traded or someone from the Eagles franchise comes out and says, no trade, Wentz is our guy. We just signed him last year to this contract, and truly the cap hit is just too great for us to take. I think this is going to be a really weird offseason for Carson Wentz. And, oh, by the way, Doug Peterson's no longer there. Press Taylor's no longer there. Deuce Staley's no longer there. There's all these new faces coaching him who he doesn't know. So Carson Wentz, I appreciate Dak and his financial stuff. Dak is a starter for the Cowboys. Carson Wentz, I don't know what the heck is going on there.
Bird on a wire.
Bird on a wire.
I look at what's going on with Dallas, and it's like the shootout at the OK Corral. You know what I mean?
No pun intended.
No, it's just a coincidence.
Actual shootout.
Cowboy talk, yeah. It's an interesting thing with Dak, because he has this season where he comes in, and he's statistically incredible, and he's lighting it up, and then he gets hurt, and it's over, and he's gone. If he had stayed healthy, let's get a hypothetical. Let's say Dak stays healthy, the Cowboys go 9-7, and they lose in the wild card round. Then the conversation is the same it's always been. It's, Dak is good, but he's not good enough to get you over. In a weird way, by leaving the season and getting injured, it almost helped him.
I agree.
Because he came in, was spectacular, and then left. And it's like, wow, Dak was really good. And there was always this sort of narrative about Dak that it's the Cowboys, you got an amazing line, you got amazing running back, amazing receivers. Dak's just driving a Ferrari. Well, when he was gone, the Ferrari was up on cinder blocks. It didn't drive well. And so it's like, wow, maybe Dak is really good. And I'll tell you something else. I think he really won over in the court of public opinion, too.
Right.
Dak is now a sympathetic figure, big time, because of the injury, because he hasn't been paid, because he's a good person. I think that injury, as terrible as it was and as bad as it was to watch, somehow the guy who had this awful leg fracture might have won with that in the long run because the people love him and it was revealed just how good he is. Whereas if he stayed out there, it might have been the same returns as always. So I think that one's fascinating.
42-27 with Dak, 2 playoff appearances with Dak, never a losing season with him as a primary starter.
No doubt about it. For me, I'm looking at the Eagles situation, and it's like that Shia LaBeouf movie, Eagle Eye.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good movie.
Everybody knows where he's going and stuff. It's crazy.
And that's what we're trying to figure out with Carson Wentz.
Okay.
We're tracking his every move, trying to figure out where he's going. But this is more about Carson Wentz than it is about Dak Prescott. I mean, for the simple fact that it was so bad this year. You touched on it. I mean, 15 interceptions, no joke when you're leading the league in that category. And I get it. We're looking at him getting sacked. He also was sacked 50 times. And you can't necessarily blame that on him. He does shoulder some of the responsibility because he has this ability to make big plays, but that also works at his detriment because he'll sit in that pocket way too long and take unnecessary hits. And speaking of unnecessary hits, seems like he's always banged up. He's never finished in the season because he's one of those physical style quarterbacks. And with everything that surrounds the possible future of the Eagles, the new coaching staff, what we saw to Jalen Hurts, you almost think that the chapter's automatically closed. And for Dak Prescott, he was hurt. It's one thing to be hurt and sit on the sideline. For Carson Wentz, he was benched. It's a whole different ballgame. You got paid, you're the man, they praise you, but all the while, they question you because you're not Nick Foles, you're not on the statue outside, and then they put in Jalen Hurts. So for me, it's Carson Wentz 100%.
So you think Carson Wentz getting moved? Do you agree with Troy Aikman about Dak? Is he a Cowboy next year?
He should be, yeah. When you look at the numbers that he put up right out the gate, and then you compare him to other quarterbacks that we praised this year, Dak Prescott was unbelievable at the beginning of the year before he got injured.
They were terrible. They lost all those games.
He was unbelievable. I didn't say the Cowboys. I said he was.
That's great. Here's my question to you, and to you, and to you. We are seeing time and time again that these quarterbacks that take the huge salaries, the teams don't win.
Sure.
Are the Cowboys going to be the team, which they kind of flirted with last year before giving the franchise tag, to not give the $40 million contract to a quarterback? Because time and time again, we're seeing it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work right now.
Dak Prescott is better than Jared Goff. Dak Prescott is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. So you can't put them in the same conversation.
Jimmy Garoppolo's making $25 million and might not even be a 49er. I'm talking about
what if you do it in
still
Watson. Mahomes and Watson is what he wants. He doesn't want Jimmy Garoppolo.
If that doesn't work, how does it also work when you also have the highest paid running back in history too? Like it's completely untenable and it's not a recipe for success. But the alternative is buy Dak. We have nobody and we have no quarterback
and an $80 million receiver.
Does Dak have more leverage?
You're right.
Dak has more leverage, but is there a line of teams that are looking to give Dak that money right now? If they were to say play chicken and say, all right, be a free agent, is someone giving Dak the $40 million or the $38 million he wants?
Somebody will.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think
somebody
they did for Kirk Cousins. I think they will, and there's teams that need them, and we can name some of them.
And what do we say? Don't go grocery shopping while you're hungry. What happens in the offseason? Nobody needs a quarterback, and then these teams are starving, rubbing their belly, and breaking the bank for any quarterback that is healthy.
Well, how'd you guys feel about our first little
great.
First little bite of this? We're only talking about
getting started.
Just once or twice in the next couple of weeks. Now, the projected #1 pick of the 2021 NFL Draft is going to kick it into high gear this week. Check out Path to the Draft Pro Day special. Get your eyes on